Hello, beloved. Welcome to our channel, where we grow closer to Jesus every day. If you love learning how to strengthen your faith and deepen your prayer life, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a blessing.
Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into something pretty fascinating, those subtle little signs of an unseen presence in our lives. You know, the idea that maybe there's some kind of divine guidance all around us, and it's a big if we just know what to look for. So let's get right into it.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever been in the middle of total chaos? I mean, everything's going wrong, you're completely stressed out, your mind's racing, and then, boom, out of nowhere, this profound sense of calm just washes over you. Complete peace. It's those kinds of unexplainable, really comforting moments that we're going to unpack today.
Well, according to the spiritual traditions we're exploring here, moments like that aren't just random. No, they're actually seen as signs of what's called an angelic presence. This is the belief that we're not really alone, that we have these divine beings with us, kind of guiding, protecting, and just watching over us. Okay, so how do we actually spot these signs? We're going to break it down into three main groups, and we'll start with the signs you can feel. You know, those subtle internal feelings and sensations that are sometimes really hard to put into words. All right, in this first part, we're going to talk about that profound calm we kick things off with. We'll also get into spiritual chills, those weirdly sudden temperature shifts, and that really distinct feeling, you know the one, that you're not alone in the room. So let's start with that profound peace. And we're not just talking about, feeling a little less stressed. This is a deep, overwhelming sense of calm that can literally dissolve negativity in a split second. It's often described as an angelic whisper that shows up right at the moment you need it most. And this idea of a peace that just goes beyond all logical understanding, it's not new at all. I mean, look at this quote from Philippians. It shows this concept has been around for centuries. It's seen as this divine gift, something meant to guard our hearts and our minds from the chaos. Okay, what about spiritual chills? Ever get those? That sudden tingle or a wave of goosebumps that comes out of absolutely nowhere? The idea here is that this is a physical reaction, your body responding to the high vibrational energy of a divine presence. It's like a tangible confirmation that, yep, a connection has been made. This can also show up as a really sudden change in the temperature around you. On one hand, you might feel a sudden chill, like a cool breeze that wafts over you while you're praying or meditating. That's seen as a little nod, a confirmation of their presence. And on the other hand, you might feel a sudden, unexplainable warmth. This is often described as feeling like an invisible hug, just pure comfort and loving protective energy. All right, so we've talked about the signs you can feel internally. Now let's switch gears and explore the signs you perceive with your external senses. We're talking about the things you might actually see, hear, or even smell. So, coming up, we're going to look at things like unexplained flashes of light, that weird ringing you can get in your ears, sudden sweet smells, and even really vivid dreams that feel like they're trying to tell you something important. So, have you ever seen a flash of light or a little shimmering orb just kind of darting past in the corner of your eye? Well, light is pretty much a universal symbol for hope and the divine, right? So these flashes are seen as a direct visual sign. A flash of white light could represent purity, while a soft, warm glow might be a message of comfort and love. And what about that sudden ringing in your ears, when it's not from a loud concert or anything? Spiritually, this is sometimes interpreted as a download of divine wisdom. Think of it like a signal coming in on a higher frequency, basically a heads up to pay really close attention to what you're thinking or what's happening around you right in that moment. You know how powerful our sense of smell is, right? It's so tied to memory and emotion. So imagine you suddenly smell something amazing, like fresh roses or sweet vanilla, but there's no source for it anywhere. That's considered a really gentle sign meant to trigger feelings of comfort and love. It's like a sweet little reminder that you're being watched over. Okay, for our last category, we're moving from the intangible, the things you feel and sense, to the totally tangible. We're talking about actual clues left right in your path, things you can see and touch, and also those perfectly timed coincidences that just make you go, whoa. All right, finding a feather where it doesn't belong, that is a classic sign. It's like a little physical postcard from the universe. And the colors have their own language, which is pretty neat. A white feather usually means peace and protection. A gray one can signal balance and guidance. And if you find a golden one, wow, that's all about blessings and spiritual abundance. And this connection between feathers and the divine isn't just a modern idea. It's echoed in ancient texts, too. I mean, just look at this verse from Psalm 91. It beautifully ties feathers to this idea of finding divine protection and a safe refuge.
Next up is a big one, synchronicity. And this is so much more than just a random coincidence. It's when things line up in a way that's so perfect it feels, well, orchestrated. It's like a little wink from the universe, a nudge to let you know, hey, you're on the right track.
So here's a classic example of how it might play out. Let's say you've got a really big question weighing on your mind. Then you start noticing a pattern. Maybe you keep seeing the same numbers everywhere, like 11-1 or 444. And then, all of a sudden, the answer to your question just pops up, seemingly out of nowhere. Maybe it's a lyric in a song on the radio, a headline on an article you stumble upon, or something a friend says in a random conversation. That right there, that's synchronicity in action.
So we've gone through signs you can feel, signs you can perceive with your senses, and signs you can literally find in your path. But what does it all really mean? What's the point of even paying attention to all this?
Well, the biggest takeaway here is that these signs aren't just cool or weird phenomena to notice. They're meant to be invitations. They're little prompts from the universe to just pause for a second, to reflect, and to maybe reconnect with that divine part of yourself or with something greater.
Ultimately, it really just boils down to being aware. The key isn't to go out there actively hunting for signs. It's much simpler than that. It's just about being open to them. Because paying attention, really paying attention to the subtle wonders and the little coincidences in your life, that in itself is a form of listening.
So, I want to leave you with a question to think about. Now that you know what to look for, what signs have you maybe already noticed in your own life? Have you had that sudden feeling of peace, a crazy coincidence, or maybe you found a feather right on your doorstep? Just think about it.
And you know, whether you choose to see these things as divine intervention or as a message from your own deep intuition, or maybe just as beautiful, unexplainable mysteries, the underlying message is really the same. You're guided, you're supported, and you are definitely not alone.
Thank you for watching. If you or someone you know needs prayer, send us an email. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for daily blessings.